Wow, this is crazy.
Have you seen this before?
I mean, in photos,
Yeah.
I think you were working on it last time I was at the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's cool because you could move it around more than the cop
Dude,
car.
it's got so much good shit in it. Like,
Yeah.
that has like a lot of history in it. Like,
It's tough. So cool. You gotta cut a pistol in half.
dude, right there.
Oh, you got one? Oh, sick. Because we were all looking at the cop car yesterday. I
Yeah.
was showing him your work. And I was like, wow, that's such a big piece. And if Risk could take that everywhere, he would just, I don't know, it
Yeah.
blows minds. I agree.
So Travis, tell us about DTA.
So DTA, Don't Trust Anyone, was a brand that I started with Rob Deirdrick and my friend Yo
Yeah.
years ago. And then, you know, once Rob got really busy with his TV shows
Yeah.
and stuff, I was really, really focused on Famous and my band.
I saw DTA when I went to paint the warehouse. I saw you had DTA in the warehouse that time.
Yeah.
You know.
So it
That
was
was the
around
beginning,
for a
right?
while. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
called DTA Posse. Yeah, it was really cool. And, you know.
So DTA Records, what is that?
So DTA Records is my label,
Yeah.
and it's a subsidiary of Elektra, and I'm just signing, you know, artists that I believe in or stuff that I want to put out, you know, stuff from my own, you know, like hard drive of music,
Yeah.
or like I signed Jaden Hostler,
Dope.
and I put out records with Wayne, Rick Ross, Run the Jewels,
Yeah.
NASCAR Aloe, Josiah, all sorts of stuff. It's not just one thing; it's all over the place. It's
Yeah.
me, literally, you know.
So I'm going to show you what we did for the capsule, and I'm fucking super stoked on it.
Yeah, so I've only seen it through IG, and when we talked, they're like, "Hey, have you ever heard of this guy Risk?" And I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, I mean, I think I have to say it is like when I started one of my first brands, Famous. I had met you, and I had seen what you were doing with Third Rail.
Yeah. So this is the pieces, and you know, obviously it's all your guys' imagery, and I just tried to lifestyle. I tried to encapsulate that, and I'm super stoked on these pieces, and this is it. You know.
It's beautiful. So I saw it coming together every night when it was like 3 or 4 in the morning the last couple nights, and I'd be working at the studio. I was keeping up with everything you guys were doing.
I was so like burnt out, maybe drunk sometimes, and I'm texting you, and I was like, I can't get the video to work right. So one time I sent him a picture of a chair. I'm like, oh, that was the wrong video, bro.
Same. I would try to repost some of it, and it was just like a black square, and I was like, oh, okay. No, it came out incredible.
Like that whole energy with you guys' imagery and stuff, and then I wanted to lighten up with colors and the butterflies, because like I love this saying from Anarch to Monarch, right? Yeah. We all been
Monarchy.
Jason Romero, love you. This all came about like it's kind of a thing to me. Like, you know, my past was dark, and my future is bright. We used candy car paint, you know.
Yep.
And then I crushed abalone and surfboard resin, and it's just like bitching.
Classic Risk.
Yeah. Had to do it, and then we had prints too.
Ah, awesome. I mean, I think with every collaboration, even like relating it to music, is like, you know, if you had to think about Local Authority, Don't Trust Anyone, and Risk, this is what it would look like.
Right.
And we nailed it. You know, where
Nailed it,
sometimes like artists get together or whatever, and you're like, it doesn't really look like that. You know? Like, I feel like this is just spot on.
You know, I've done a couple things with Travis, you know, a handful of things, and I love working with Travis because like it's always like go big or go home, right? It's like, I don't know if we could talk about this scenario. I might have painted a train for him one time. Like, you know,
I might have a big picture of it in my studio too, but
that might have happened. We have 10 editions of 25 pieces. They're all HPMs, hand painted, and they're pretty fucking cool.
oh, I love all the stencil stuff on the side right there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Like I tried to pick everything I've done in the last like 10 years and try to, you know, put some of it in there.
Yeah.
People want to talk to you about your career and stuff like that. So, you know, when did you get into music? Like, I'm going to start like super elementary, and we could fucking jump through it. Like,
Yeah.
I know you're in a bunch of bands, right? You played with the Vandals. You played with Aqua.
Yeah, I toured with the Vandals.
Yeah.
I was in a band called the Aquabats.
Aquabats, and that was like my era. That was pretty.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually, you know what set it all off for me was I was playing in like punk bands where I lived, and I grew up in Fontana.
Okay.
I kind of jumped around Riverside, Corona, all the surrounding areas.
Yeah.
Like,
Remember House in Corona was so bitching, by the way.
Oh, thank
It
you.
was my inspiration for like I love that house, the fish tank and everything. It was like,
Dude, the house I live at right now in Los Angeles is very similar, and it's the reason I bought it.
Is that the one by me?
Yeah,
I wanna come see it.
because I loved that Corona house. But yeah, I kind of hopped around everywhere out there. Like, grew up going to Spanky's and Showcase Theater, just going to punk shows, and yeah, that's kind of where it all started. But I was in a band called Feeble where I grew up, and then from there, just playing around in that band, other bands would see me and say, "Yo, will you fill in for the night?" And that's how I got in the Aquabats. Long story short, that's how I ended up playing with the Vandals for a tour. That's how I got my gig in Blink. The Vandals are like, I grew up on them, so it was one of my favorite bands ever. So I was in the middle of recording a Blink album. I got my Blink album done. It was Enema of the State, actually. I got the entire album done, the drums done in about 3 hours. And then I was like, okay, you guys, I'm out. And they're like, where are you going? And I said, I got an opportunity to go play with the Vandals. As long as it's cool with you guys, you know, and all my parts are done, I'm going to go do it. So I did it, and we loaded up a Winnebago, and we all slept in it and toured the world. It was actually one of their tours that's called Turd Town Tour. So it's like the most C market, random cities, but one of my favorite tours I've ever been on, honestly.
So that's funny because I don't tour like that, but I paint murals around the world, and when I get these weird places, I'm like, I'm down. It's the best fucking experience ever. Like,
oh, for sure.
Shit that we can't talk about online. It's just so awesome. Like watching these dudes. Like, I'm not gonna put people on blast, but like, Jesus, it's fucking great. Like,
From the people you meet at whatever shows or whatever tour you're doing to the challenges
of people that hate it, they don't get it. I love those people too because they're cool.
Yeah.
And they just tell you, I don't get it. I don't understand. But they're cool. They're not being dicks.
Yeah.
So you can just hang out with them, like whatever. I love it.
Yeah, the challenges of finding food or not having the perfect venue to play at.
Don't talk about it.
Yeah, it's some of the most fun stuff, honestly. I don't like being comfortable, honestly. I don't.
Yeah.
Sometimes on Blink tours where we're in a lavish arena and everything's perfect, it kind of mind fucks me.
Right.
Honestly, I want something to go wrong.
I get that 100%.
Knock on metal, knock on something.
Me being a graffiti artist, like I adapt to situations, and I kind of like that. Like I come places like, well, you can't paint that corner. You can paint that corner. I love that. That feeds energy, right?
Absolutely. Curveballs are the best.
Yeah. Travis, you got into clothing, right?
Yeah.
So famous stars and straps was guitar straps and belts at first, right?
No, it started off as straps, like belts, like studded belts. We started off with belts and belt buckles.
Yeah.
That was kind of our thing. I wanted to do something different. I knew I couldn't really stand out or stand apart from everyone else if I just came out slinging T-shirts.
Right.
So we did offer T-shirts and hats and stuff, but our specialty was belts and belt buckles.
Right.
And that kind of like, it was just, I didn't know what I was doing. I saw people like you. I saw people like, like even what Bobby was doing.
Yeah.
I just saw people making their own clothing lines. Bobby Tribal. And not necessarily having to like, I mean, to be completely honest, there was people like, like Billabong and Hurley that existed that I could have done deals with. And I was just like, man, I really want to take on the challenge of doing something myself and saying I created something.
Right.
And I really found out that I really like doing that.
And you put together a great crew because I worked with some of the guys you work with, Max and Ryan and those guys, and they're fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's like putting a band together.
Right.
It's like, okay, ready? We're gonna go try to take over the world.
Dude, in the same way that I get people hitting me like, I want to work with you, cool, but they don't fit. Like everyone in this room that you guys can't see right now, are like the dudes that fit. Like they just came like, it's not about, your talent's got to be there. It's not about the talent. It's about someone that fits.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest part.
It goes that way for bands too. You could be the most shreddiest guitar player, the fastest rapper in the world, the shreddiest drummer, whatever. But if you can't like communicate with people and you're not a good hang, it's almost like the talent goes out the window.
Right.
You got to have like just I don't know. You want to be in a team. It's
100%.
a team sport.
Like-minded individuals, right?
Yeah.
We got a lot of questions coming in.
Okay, go ahead.
How did you guys meet?
Third Rail.
Yeah, I think I met Kelly at a trade show, like old ASR trade shows or something, and someone said, yo, this is Kelly. And I was already familiar with the Third Rail Devil, and we had mutual homies, and that's kind of how we think.
I think it was Rosie and those guys. I think it was Rosie and Jack from Flies.
What's the favorite city you guys have ever been to?
Favorite what?
On tour. Favorite city you've ever been to on tour?
That's it.
I mean, in the States, I got to give it up to LA. Like, I love LA. There's nothing better than LA.
Okay.
But yeah, when I'm traveling, I love London. I love Japan. I love New York. I love Atlanta. I love Texas. Those are like some of my favorites.
Yeah. I don't really tour, but I love New Orleans.
Yeah, New Orleans is cool.
That's my hometown, so.
Travis, you ever done a tagging piece?
Yeah, so growing up, I don't know where I first saw graffiti. It might have been like watching like Breakin' or like, I don't know, like movies like that. And then just growing up in Fontana, kind of had everything. You had like cholos, you had gangbangers, you had graffiti artists, you had skateboarders.
But isn't that cool about LA? Because LA, we have everything, right?
Yeah.
It's a melting pot.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes LA such a awesome spot and breeds this fucking awesome energy. Punk rock, to me, is the same shit because like, I was punk rock, I was Suicidal Tendencies, Venice Beach, and hip hop. Like all these things made LA graffiti a different kind of breed. We're different than New York. We're fucking just aggressive and different, whatever. And I love New York. I mean, they're the godfathers. But you know, I think LA, that all these cultures that just fucking smash into each other, and you have to deal with each other.
Yeah.
You can't avoid each other. You have to deal with it.
You have to coexist and figure it out. So you may be inspired by whatever. I mean, I started a clothing line because I was inspired by graffiti and people like you and seeing other people start brands. So like, yeah, as a kid, like I had spray cans and a marker and I used to tag up Bam Bam, you know, and it was the closest thing for Bam Bam, like drums, you know, whatever. My graffiti artist career fell short and I figured I was a way better drummer than graffiti artists, you know, and I get to work with cool graffiti artists like Risk, so.
How long have you been playing drums?
So I started when I was 4. I was just banging on stuff. No one was musical in my family. My pops was a steel worker, was in Vietnam, rode a motorcycle, a Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
My mom, like, just daycare, like, you know, make ends meet, and I was banging on shit.
Yeah. So you get your car inspiration from your pops?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Pops has, like...
You still have all the Cadillacs?
I don't. You know, I parted with some. I figured, like... For me, some of the old schools, I had them forever, and I was just like, it's kind of like a girlfriend. Like, I had my time with them, and it's not so special anymore. And I want to build something new or buy something new. 100%. So I kind of like got rid of stuff, and I was making room. I just bought a building really close to my house where
Really?
I'm gonna have like multiple recording studios there, a psych wall to film and do videos. Streaming, like a gym, an apartment, just somewhere
Place for
like
cars? Can you fit cars in there?
Yeah, I can fit cars in
Can I
there.
put a couple in there?
So yeah, exactly. So I'm already thinking. I'm like scheming again.
I got that
like,
lowrider I got to put somewhere.
Which one?
The green one. Moonlight.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. 67. But I got to put it somewhere.
So I'm kind of like, I had a part with them, and I just figured I had my time with them,
Yeah.
and I don't have to stay with them, and I want to do something new. It's like a new chapter.
You know, if you treat them right and you ride them, and you do your thing with them, it's cool, right?
Yeah.
Give it to someone else that's gonna like get that same energy, right?
Yeah, I'm keeping a lot of my ones that were stock, to be honest with you, because like sometimes when you customize a car, you're kind of stuck to that era, and I don't know if some of them, you know, I was wild, I was young, and I like really, as far as like right now with old cars, I just like stock cars that are just.
Bro, I don't know how many. I had 15. I'm down to like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And the ones
Same.
I love, you know. And you probably had. I don't know how many you had, but like same shit. Like you get like, dude, I love this car, but I don't really love it that much.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I'm not gonna drive it once a year. I don't need it. You know,
Yeah.
you know? But like, I think I've narrowed down my collection to shit I really love. You know? And Jack from Flies just built my last car.
No way.
Yeah, it's fucking dope.
Yeah, he always had great taste.
Yeah.
Jack had great taste, from his cars to like early like
Everything.
Black Flies, like design and stuff.
Dude, I went to his house. He lived in Newport, right? And he had that house. He had the dock on the water and shit. It was super cool. He had Noah paint all his walls like underwater and shit. And he had just like some high heels, some stripper high heels, stapled to the wall with a frame around it.
Yeah.
And it was so artsy to me. I was like, dude, it's a huge influence.
Yeah.
Nothing, but Jack just has that mind, you know.
Yep, he really does.
All right, we got 2 more questions.
Yeah.
First of all, what's in your Mason cup?
Water.
That's what I thought. And what are you guys finding inspiration from in these Corona times for your artwork or music?
Want me to start?
Yeah, go for it.
To me, I'm not. I make a lot of money going on the road painting murals, and I haven't had that. So I've been in the studio. So getting back to the studio for me has been fucking amazing. It's been the best thing that happened to me. During Corona, I bought the house next door, built a gallery. I got so much done during Corona that it would take me 5 years in normal life to do. So I mean, this pandemic is a fucking tragedy. I'm so sorry about it, but it's been the best thing that ever happened to me. So I'm killing it. I'm in the studio making shit. and I'm in the studio 24/7 working. You see me, I text you at 3 in the morning. Like I'm just like, just boom, boom, boom. So it's been great. But inspiration to me is like never knowing completion. I want to be an artist that never knows completion. I want to know. I want to learn everything. I want to do everything. Every art's a different genre. I want to keep going. So I don't know. Inspiration to me is like being fucking busy and just learning new shit every day.
Facts. Mine is very similar to Risk. Like I would normally be on tour for 4 months around this time, and I've had the opportunity to really focus on producing, and I've had like one of the craziest years of my life. You know, I just did MGK's album. We're just wrapping it up.
Dude, every time I see your Instagram, I'm like, this motherfucker's like constantly. I'm like, it's crazy.
I don't know. I'm 110% just steamrolling and just doing what I love. And like I said, I wouldn't have an opportunity to do this normally.
Yeah.
So I kind of like even discovered a new piece of me, and I made like what's one of my probably favorite pieces of work with MGK, like something that's really special to me. And working on Ian Dior's album, working with that group Horror, just doing like stuff I love, working with Josiah, working with, you know, Jaden and starting a record label. I just did things like how you said I would never be able to do.
And the MGK thing you did at your house, right? Like that video that I saw you playing drums in your, I don't know.
We did some of it, yeah.
But that's like, cool, right? That's probably a cool thing. Like just do it here. Like I don't know.
Yeah, during quarantine, I mean, Kels and I, we were thriving. Everyone else was like not knowing what to do, and we were like, fuck this. Like, let's go. Like, this is the time, you know?
You can't stop. You got to go.
Yeah, and just do stuff. I mean, I did that thing with Post where we did Nirvana tribute.
I want to meet him, by the way.
Salt Lake.
That was so awesome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So good.
He's the greatest, you know? So just stuff like that, and very similar with what you said. Like, I also know I don't like kind of get to a level and I'm cool. I'm never comfortable. I'm always growing and I'm always learning, and I've acknowledged and I've accepted like you only stop doing those things when you throw in the white flag and
I'm a
you
jack
choose
of
to
all,
stop.
king of none, trying to be a king of everything.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. There's so much for us to learn still, you know?
What inspired the artwork from your new album with Mr. Kelly?
Well, like the art actually hasn't been released yet, but it is very kind of petty bone, like punk rock influence.
Yeah.
You know, Kels is a rapper who grew up loving punk rock, but never knew he could do it until he found me, and we were like brothers.
Oh, that's dope.
I was like, yes, you can do this.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So I took him on a ride somewhere else that he wanted to go, and he was kind of just like, I want to do something new.
It makes a lot of sense, though. If you see his style, it makes a lot of sense. Like, he is.
It goes back to what we just said, too. Like, make music, like, how you look is how you should sound. And Kels, like, fits the description. So, yeah, it's wild. But, yeah, everything. And I guess, you know, the album is definitely inspired by early 2000, like pop-punk music.
Yeah. Okay, favorite drummer?
Yeah, I can't. There's not one. I always think of myself as like a morph of a bunch of things. So like, obviously Bonham, one of the best to ever do it. You have to like throw in like, you know, Clive Stubblefield from the Meters and people like that, and like P-Funk. Like those drummers inspired me. Buddy Rich, one of the greatest drummers of all time.
Simple but good, right?
Yeah. And then Animal from the Muppets was like my, I don't know, he was like everything to me. Just, he was wild. I wanted to be wild as fuck. And, you know, I wanted to, I don't know, I never, even though I was, you know, I was trained for a little while to play jazz and I learned all that, and I loved that education and what I learned from it, but it's also like, the greatest thing I think for you too with being a graffiti artist or any of us doing anything creative is meshing a bunch of styles together and creating your own style. And I feel like more than anything,
I think you're the epitome of that. Of everything I've ever seen.
Thank you so much.
I mean, dude, I've seen you do.
They want to know, where do you guys think graffiti is going in the future? Like, you see it going a certain direction? Are you talking about more collaborations with people, or what do you think?
I mean, with what Risk is doing, and you see, obviously, Banksy has like just set it off for everybody, and so many artists cause, like, there is no cap to it. Like,
sky's the limit.
Yeah, sky's the limit.
And you have to understand though, that's a tough question, right? So graffiti artists always look at like technical shit, and that's fucking awesome, bro. And I can do it, and I love it, and I respect the fuck out of it. But sometimes you got to get to a point where Dennis Hopper's only, get tight and paint loose, right? So you got to let go of that shit sometimes and fucking be organic and fucking splash and get crazy. So I guess with graffiti is we spent so long learning a craft and a technique to be perfect, and now we have to be artists. So you have to let some of that go. So I guess to answer your question, where graffiti going? More organic.
I think that's the same. I was going to say, like, you know, people will say out-of-pocket shit all the time. You're the best graffiti artist in the world. I'm the best drummer in the world. But no, it's really like, no, we've found our own style.
Right.
And that's the most important thing, I think, with anything. Whether you have a clothing line, if you're a guitar player, if you're a graffiti artist, a drummer, it's like your own style means so much.
Getting comfortable.
Yeah.
Learning yourself. I don't know myself yet.
Yeah, I'm constantly figuring out who I am. Even behind a drum kit, whatever, you know? I feel like we spend years doing that.
So talking about I'm from New Orleans, right? So Mardi Gras, drumming, you know, drumline is huge, right? So I tried to get a drum in here for you to do drumline, but I looked at your Instagram. I was like, I don't even know, that drum was too deep.
Yeah.
I'd fuck up and get the wrong drum. So
Yeah, I mean, I grew up, so I was part of the marching band in high school.
You were?
Yeah, that shaped me for sure. Like,
that shit's so dope.
yeah, I was playing drum kit and I was in jazz band, but the competitiveness and the discipline in marching is crazy.
So you with that guy, I forget his name, Mark or something, you guys did the thing together, flipping the sticks and shit? Like,
Yeah, I have a
what's
couple
his
people
name?
I do that. I do it with a guy named Ralph Nader sometimes, and another guy named Harvey Thompson.
It's amazing, right? But I'm from New Orleans. I love that shit. Like, I could just listen to that shit all day. If I could stream that in my studio, it'd be awesome, right? Just
Yeah.
Like that. I love that, right? This is going nowhere. I just wanted to say that.
No, I love it too. You know, I even like get lost in marching videos, and just the simplicity of a drummer with sticks and a pad, I love just as much as a drum kit.
But you know, I know that people might think it's a gimmick or anything, but like, I'm like, dude, I have so much. I couldn't even concentrate on doing the beat. He's fucking throwing the sticks behind his back and shit. I'm like, dude, I can't do that. Like, you know, like.
You get bored on tour.
I
or
did
you get
nunchucks. I
bored.
knocked myself out. I'm like, so like, I can't do that. Like.
I mean, that's like me when I went to your spot and I tried, you know, doing graffiti. It's like, whoa, this is, you know, so many people think it's whatever, just you doing whatever you want with a spray can, but there's obviously an art to it.
So I asked Travis to teach me to play Moby Dick. He said I could do it, but you will still want another drum.
I can definitely do it.
So I keep telling people that.
Audio visual is asking Trav, what's it like working with Matt Skiba?
Matt's awesome. He's really cool. Matt, you know, was still in a band called Alkaline Trio, and they would constantly tour with Blink. So when Tom kind of took his break from the band, Matt was just such a perfect fit, and Mark and I both knew him, and it just worked out great.
Yeah.
It couldn't have been like an easier transition.
What's up with Tom?
Tom's awesome. I still talk to him a lot. He has like that show
Yeah.
on, I think it's Discovery
I saw
Channel.
it. So yeah, super into it. Like,
It's kind of cool, you know. Everyone thought he was batshit crazy, but he wasn't. You know,
No,
he
I
was
don't
just he really took.
Yeah.
He was really interested in this and intrigued by it, and dedicated a lot of his life to it. You know.
And I can't respect that enough.
Yeah.
You know, it's just cool. You know, like you don't have to agree with anything. It's just like this is cool. You know.
Yeah. It's like musicians too that have been in
dude,
the biggest bands in the world,
But
and
that's
they're
what I'm
just
saying.
like,
That's what I'm saying, bro.
I don't want to do
To
this.
me, it's so amazing when someone's like got like something really good and they go, this.
Yeah.
I respect the fuck out of that.
Yeah.
You know.
It was kind of like the At the Drive-In guys when they stopped at the Drive-In and they were opening for Rage, and they had the biggest, had the biggest look of all, biggest album, and they're like, you know what, we're gonna go do Mars Volta, and we're gonna make songs that are 20 minutes long, and we don't care if you fucking listen to it. We just want to do this, you know. So yes, there is a lot of respect.
But so I just watched the Rush documentary, right?
Yeah.
Kind of similar, right? Because they were like blowing up, and they started doing these songs that were like
Prog
stories
rock,
or whatever.
yeah.
But they stuck with it. It worked out.
Yeah.
Neil
The documentary
Neil
was
Peart,
interesting.
another great drummer, right?
Yeah.
Fucking, and I'm saying antisocial, but like, didn't really give a fuck about that. Like, he was just really into. I didn't realize how involved he was with the writing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know either until the documentary.
Yeah.
And they're so likable. After the documentary, I mean, I liked Rush. It wasn't my favorite band.
Rush,
but-
you're awesome. But I didn't really care about Rush. But I saw the documentary, I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
I had so much more respect, and I love Neil Rest in peace. And we never got a chance to really know him.
Yeah.
Because he was kind of quiet and closed off, and you were just like,
How dope was
Neil
it when he got
Peart's
on
a
his
great
bike and
drummer.
just went across?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine the pain he went through. You know, you have kids, you have
know.
a wife. Like, I can't imagine that pain. But,
Yeah.
dude, he just fucking just took off.
Yeah.
You know?
Ride his bike from show to show, like just
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah. A lot of respect.
All right, Travis, you got any palm tats? Rest of you got some.
Dude, I almost got one, but I'm just...
We're the opposite.
I'm not going to be able to play drums for about 2 weeks, or a week, and it's going to bug the shit out of me. So knock on wood, I'll wait till the next time I'm hurt or something.
Place can't hear it. And that's not a Budweiser can, bro. It's a spray can. My daughter's names. My cans are fucking filthy. Sorry, I've been painting. What else I got? Oh, this is a good one. Cartoon and I were roommates, lifelong friends, and I was talking shit about tattoos. I'm like,
You did that?
no, I'm telling you. I go, you're a sign painter, bro. Like, tattoos ain't shit because you do it. So I did it and fucking fucked it all up. I was like, all right, man, you're
You
an
did that
artist.
on yourself.
Yeah. And
What'd you get?
talking shit to cartoon, and luckily, he's like, you know, what's the worst spots? He's like, your neck, this, that. Luckily, I was drunk. They took the ink out of the fucking thing, so I was like, blasting myself everywhere. Luckily, that's the only one that had the ink in it, you know.
Oh, he's the best, man. Tunes
He's awesome.
Is a legend. He let me. I got a memorial for little Chris, and Che.
Number
and
one soldier.
Yeah, he let me shade it. It was pretty.
Really?
It was pretty cool. I was just like, I was asking something about shading. He's like, try it. And I was like, for real? He's like, yeah. So I shaded my tattoo. It was pretty cool.
So Franco, we have a good mutual friend, Franco.
Yeah.
You guys are doing something together.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
I think he's doing. So he had created this T-shirt graphic that was forever. It said forever, and a family one, I think, for Famous.
Well, you did family back a long time ago, right?
Back in the day. So yeah, we're just kind of like doing a new one for 2020.
Yeah, because so he came to do happy hour.
Nice.
And he brought a Bishop rotary machine, right? So I tattooed a bunch of people in the studio.
No way.
And it has a back tip, bro.
Yeah.
So it's like a marker. So I'm like doing chisel tags on people.
No
You're like, damn,
way.
Risky, you can tattoo? How'd you do that? I'm like, it's a tip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Franco's awesome, man.
Yeah.
What he's done with Bishop and stuff has been
Fuck, I forgot. He's going to be so mad.
Incredible.
I wanted to come down when you were here. I didn't call him. Sorry, Franco.
Hey, Jeffrey's asking, he says, my 6-year-old daughter would like to know how she can learn to drum like you.
So anyone that has like kids that want to play drums, I always say, like, they always ask, what kit should I get? And it doesn't really matter. It's like, what spray can should you get? Just pick up the drums and play.
100%.
Practice and play with
Pots and
people.
pans.
Yeah, play with people too. Once you learn how to do a little bit, playing with people is so important because you could shred all you want by yourself. But if I don't know how to get in a room and make a song with Risk or have fun jamming, and I'm just going crazy and I'm self-indulgent, whatever, playing with people is so important once you get the basics down. But yeah, dude, and we're in a time where watch tons of YouTube videos. You could honestly learn how to do anything.
You ever see those street guys on pots and pans and buckets?
Of course, yeah.
Are they awesome or is it just me?
Oh no, some of them are awesome.
Yeah, right?
Oh, don't get it twisted. Those guys have talent.
right?
Yeah, they could probably. Some of them, unfortunately, they just don't have the means of a drum kit.
Right.
You give them a drum kit, they might
Blow up.
take someone out of a job. You know what I mean? For real.
By the way, I told you about that project with Muggs. Muggs committed. He's stoked that you want to do it too. Where we're going to take a graffiti artist and a musician and do songs. So Muggs is going to produce the whole thing.
Sick.
So we're going to line up
One on top of the plant, maybe?
No, I haven't told him about that yet. But anyway, I think I told you about this. So it's a graffiti artist and a musician would do one song.
Nice.
Yeah.
That'll be incredible.
All right, so people are asking, how long did it take to paint these panels behind you guys? How long did you spend making
43 years.
True though.
Thank you, Travis. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man.
Love you.
Love you too, brother.
Thank you.